Hello everyone, welcome to the conversation on Lagos Television. I am Ajibola Ojeshola, and to all the traditional worshippers, happy Isheshe Day. It's a public holiday declared by Lagos State Government, of course Osun, and of course, which other state now? Ogun State, yeah. It goes to show that our governors value our traditions, our culture, and they are doing everything humanly possible to promote and propagate the Isheshe culture. And Martin sọ pé orúkọ ẹni kìíní kan.
Orúkọ mi ni.
For the likes of Olumide Ojo, Olumide believes so much in our traditional worshippers. He believes so much in Ifa and of course Ogun. So we are saying congratulations to you. And of course, a friend of the house, Shola Badejo, popularly known as Iyanifa. Joshua, ole sọ orúkọ ẹ.
Orúkọ mi ni Joshua Akínbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Adéyínká Bùsí Olúwayọ̀mí Àjàní Morakinyọ, ọmọ Akin, ọmọ olódò, ọmọ Ìlàfin.
Is this an incantation or what?
I don't understand.
Orúkọ mi ni Joshua Akínbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Adéyínká Bùsí Olúwayọ̀mí Àjàní Morakinyọ, ọmọ Akin, ọmọ olódò, ọmọ Ìlàfin.
What has Isheshe got to do with you speaking Yoruba?
Ọmọ olódò, ọmọ Ìlàfin, ọmọ Ìlàyé Àdìmúlà. Welcome to the show. My name is Joshua Morakinyọ. It's all about our culture. And if you can't speak Yoruba, or perhaps it's my panegyric, right? How is it called? Yeah. So it's my oriki.
Okay.
So that's the other part of it. But bottom line is, it's good for us to identify with our culture, and paying or placing emphasis on a particular day in the year, I don't think is too much to have for a state for us to entrench or bring back the memories of who we are as a people.
All right. So, Adebimpe, I hope you are going to take a cue from Joshua this morning.
My name is Adebimpe Omotayo. I'm not taking any cue from Joshua. And I'm happy to be here today. And congratulations to those traditional worshippers. Today is your day, and enjoy it.
Let us hear your Oriki too.
All right.
And I didn't finish, I only did part one.
I am Joy Olu. Welcome to the conversation.
You to say your Oriki.
For where?
Joy.
Joshua, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of our states.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Quickly, we go to the news point for today. When I was coming to work this morning, we still have queues.
Yeah.
We still
They're
have
getting
queues.
longer.
We still have queues, and it's getting longer, just like Adebimpe said. So what exactly is happening? I don't really know. We have had excuses, you know, over the weekend, and even up until yesterday. I don't know. It appears there are some cliques that are more powerful than the government of the day. And is this the way we are going to continue? That's the big question for the federal government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So where should we start from? Okay, we have a new baby in the country.
Yeah.
The presidential jet. When was it gotten? When was it purchased? When was it delivered? At what cost? We don't know yet. But we have a new baby. Yeah. Hey. Omotutu from the president. And there is no money in the country. But the safety of our president is very, very important.
Yes.
And
we cannot jeopardize the life of the president.
I don't know why you guys, it's too early to be sarcastic this morning. So who is taking
we are
the story?
celebrating something serious. You're saying we are being sarcastic.
Did you hear Bayo Onanuga?
It calls for celebration.
Did you hear him?
It's a new, brand new presidential jet for the safety of our president. Come on.
We'll talk about the propriety of it later, but of course, let's have the story. It's deeper than it's wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, let's have the story.
Tinubu's new presidential jet will save Nigeria.
You're not even reading the story confidently. Abba.
Okay.
It's something new now.
You don't want to be
Tinubu's new presidential jet will save Nigeria millions of dollars. I thought somebody would jubilate. The presidency has responded to criticisms of the purchase of a new presidential jet by saying the jet will save Nigeria millions of dollars. According to the spokesperson of the president, Bayo Onanuga, he said the new plane was bought far below the market price, saves Nigeria huge maintenance and fuel costs, running into millions of dollars yearly. Many Nigerians have criticized the purchase of the presidential jet at a time when most are experiencing austerity measures caused by government policies. Similarly, the move to purchase the jet came at a time when the government had been at loggerheads with Nigerian workers over a disagreement on a decent minimum wage figure that could complement the economic reality and soaring inflation. Let me just stop it here. You know? Because they said it will save us a lot of, to save costs.
Dollars. This particular one that was purchased. And then for me, there's no big deal in Mr. President having a new presidential jet. The safety must not be compromised at any time. But when was it purchased? From where? At what cost? When was it delivered into the country?
So
we didn't get to hear all of
it's
that.
the secrecy for you.
Yes.
For me, I think it's the mind games played, and I think it also shows sometimes government can be very tardy and very secretive with things that matter to the people. In a situation where we're having queues, highest inflation in the land, food inflation hovering between 40%, and you have marginal year-on-year inflation hovering at almost 50%. You have everything. We remember there was this time, there was a leak, and they said, look, the president has sent a particular bill for a supplementary budget to the National Assembly for the presidential jet. There was hue and cry. The separate president said, we've not had anything. Remember, we've not had anything on our table. And if the president brings it to their table,
It will be approved.
it will be approved.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So the question begging for answers are, when did this happen? When was it approved? How, where, below the market price, were there other biddings that was made? Who did it? When did it get into the country? And so for me, it shows insincerity. And while sometimes I'm here speaking for why government do something sometimes it can't be explained. It can't be wished away. It shows something. There's a song for that. Something fishy going down.
And you know, there are insinuations in certain quarters that by the time we got the information that the president wrote the National Assembly for the approval of supplementary budget for the purchase of the presidential jet, there are insinuations in certain quarters that the money was already approved and it was already purchased. So when you put that side by side with the secrecy surrounding the new presidential jets, then I'm beginning to feel that those insinuations were actually true.
You can't be playing Kalu Kalu. I remember I said this, was it yesterday? Kalu Kalu with the people's emotions and this thing. They know that there will be outcries if this is done.
Openly.
So it was openly, and you talk about don't worry, they will just put it side by side with the fact that the vice president's mansion was built for 20 billion naira, something that has been there for almost 20 years. You now have the presidential jet. How much did you buy it? What below market price? What do you mean?
Nigeria was able to save a lot of dollars buying this particular
So they said
presidential
this,
jet.
from what I heard, 150 billion.
Dollars or naira?
And it should be naira. 150 billion naira. Billion.
It is well with our dear country, but we love Mr. President. We must not compromise his safety.
No, he's the president of the most
cannot-
black, populous, black nation in the world. You got it.
And you know,
So-
for our hope to be renewed, it must travel the length
Bola,
and breadth of the world.
you are being sarcastic now.
Won't you travel out to attract foreign direct investment?
Let's move on to the next
It's
story.
traveling over
Adebimpe, let's have your
Ghana
story.
only. That's why it's traveling out.
Adebimpe was
She doesn't
lost.
want to talk.
I'm just deliberately quiet on this.
Why are you deliberately quiet?
Don't you care about the
Don't you
well-being
care
of
about
the
your
president?
president?
I do.
Uh-huh.
But beyond this, it's a serious matter. Oh.
It is. And I'm sure it's going to be a topic of discussion on this program very soon. Let's have your story.
ASU plans fresh nationwide strike, gives federal government 21-day notice. Members of the Academic Staff Union universities are currently planning a fresh strike and have concluded an arrangement to submit a formal notice to the federal government. They agreed upon this yesterday in Ibadan, home country. home state, or your state, during a National Executive Council meeting. The main reason for embarking on this strike is because the university lecturers are yet to be removed from the IPPIS, and the platform was still being used for their salaries payment. And this platform has continued to amputate their members' salaries, adding that there are other many unresolved issues on ground. So ASUU is saying that despite all the consultations with federal government and agreements, they have yet to be executed. They're still on IPPIS. And they've been talking about this for years now. Why is it so hard when Mr. President says something and, you know, they will just not execute it? It is when it's about 24 hours to the strike now. They'll start running up and down. And they can buy private. Okay.
I see a different picture, though.
What do you see?
I just feel that sometimes you can't do anything right with government. So why we castigate government now for being secretive with the purchase of the presidential jet? On the other hand as well, you have a situation where people are just hell-bent of destabilizing government, and it comes in different quarters. Perhaps the story I'm going to read will buttress that. You have a situation where sometimes you find some things just innocuous, like they're just on the surface, just normal strike, but you don't know that it's been orchestrated. The same thing with the strike, and I read somewhere again that the End Bad Governance strike is coming back with a new protest. It's coming back in October with a different nomenclature. Then you begin to wonder what is happening here. So you have a situation where when this administration came on board, we came into this administration with a strike. Don't forget. Then it was resolved. So sometimes, while the president may have given a directive, the bureaucratic channel sometimes limits the implementation of some of these things. And you have a situation where you don't go back to ask. Now, I'm not holding brief for the federal government, but I find a situation where you have a situation where the government said, look, there are some things I don't want with my administration. I don't want strike. And here we are. I'm going to provide for student loan scheme. That has been done. All the things he said he was going to do. So why can't they, have they written, can they give us, substantiate or giving us a track record of, or better still, a history of what they've done to get this thing done? When last did they, I'm talking about ASUU.
Okay. When
last did they meet with the Minister of Education? When last did the, so they give us a chronicle. So when we read, what I find there is very interesting. Don't forget we have TET Fund that has been going all about helping people with, is it TET Fund? No. This university.
It's TET Fund.
Yes.
TET Fund, yeah. Building
structures, building everything. So where does that factor into the 2009 agreement? And this 2009 agreement has left so many children disoriented in the country, impoverished so many parents. And I'm not looking from the ASUU point of view, I'm looking from the parent-children point of view. You mean want to subject them to another round of strike?
Joshua,
I don't agree with you at all,
why I don't subscribe to strike as a last option, as a responsible government.
Yes.
This IPPIS thing was a major issue when President Muhammadu Buhari was in charge. Ngige was the minister then. And government, like we all know, is a continuum. So it is not an excuse that, okay, ASUU should continue to write government concerning what they know. Enough is enough. Act. Less of talk, please. Let me quickly take my story, which is on minimum wage. Why minimum wage payment may delay. That's coming from Labour. Organized Labour has called on Nigerians to be patient with the federal and state government following the delay in the implementation of the new minimum wage. This was even as the workers' union absolved the federal government of any wrongdoing, saying it would be unfair to conclude that there was a deliberate attempt to avoid paying the new minimum wage. The deputy president of the NLC Political Commission, Professor Theophilus Ndubuako, stated this in an interview with journalists. President Tinubu, like we all know, signed new minimum wage into law on July 29, 2024, after meeting with the NLC and the TUC. And of course, some states, they have already set up the implementation committee for the payment of the new national minimum wage. And the states are Kano, Kwara, Ogun, Jigawa, Ondo, and Abia State. And states that are yet to set up the implementation committee are Kebbi, Sokoto, Nasarawa, Bayelsa, Delta, Osun, Ekiti, Kogi, Adamawa, Niger State, Oyo, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Katsina, Kaduna, Cross River. So Labour is saying now that there are certain reasons why the implementation of the new national minimum wage might be delayed. And of course, they are taking sides with the federal government, saying that the federal government is not doing anything to impede the payment of the 70,000 naira. I don't even get your smile is mysterious.
I'm just good as dreaming of minimum wage.
We just had a new baby.
Okay, Joshua, your story.
Okay, police invite NLC President Ajero over alleged terrorism financing. The NPF, that's the Nigerian Police Force, has invited the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, for investigation over allegations of terrorism financing, treasonable felony, cybercrime, and other related offences. The invitation is contained in a letter dated 19th August 2024 and signed by ACP Adamu Muazu on behalf of the Deputy Commissioner of Police Intelligence Response Team. The police warned that a warrant of arrest would be issued if Ajero fails to comply. Okay, that's it.
That's a follow-up to
the raid
of the NLC Secretariat. And indeed, there are allegations against the NLC president. I think you should just go...
yes,
just go and clean yourself up.
And
I don't know anything. Yeah. And then if there are evidences to show that indeed is actually part of those encouraging or promoting terrorism in the country, then it should face the music. Nobody's above the law. It's still an allegation. And they will investigate, and if it's found wanting...
But in this country, sometimes you give a dog a bad name just to hang it.
Okay. That's another angle to it. All right, quickly we'll be moving to X and see what is trending. We did say at the beginning of the show that the queues are getting longer. And on X this morning, bashing serious one for NNPCL. And, you know, Joshua and I had a conversation before we started the program. What I really do not know is there any secret subsidy being paid behind closed doors or not? Because when Mr. President took over the mantle of leadership of the country, the first thing he said was, subsidy is gone.
It's gone.
Is subsidy back?
Through the back door.
Can you confirm that?
It's obvious. International price of crude oil or even refined product has really gone up.
Gone up, yeah.
The landing cost of petrol is hovering between 900 and something, 750, as at 6 or 7 months ago. So who bears the shortfall? There's a gap and it must be filled. Someone has to pay. Don't forget, NNPC is still selling fuel at 568.
So who does the augmentation of the shortfall?
Someone has to pay. Who pays is what I don't know. Coincidentally, we have so many back and forth because we have some fuel stations right from the time that we started selling. They've not sold anything less than 609, 607, some of them 800. So I think they are they call it cost recovery. And some of the depots, even though they get it from NNPC, has been the sole importer of petrol since I can remember, since the fuel subsidy thing started. And even since over 2 years, the bottom line is private independent marketers have been very clever by half. So you have depots that won't sell even at the crop because they will have to make profits.
Definitely.
And in fact, the logistics of this is what we are still facing at the moment. There are so many sides, and for me, it's just
NNPCL thing
everything
is just too complex.
From federal government, NNPC, independent marketers, major oil marketers, all of them are dirty. And because there's so much to these things that you can't, all of them can't just come and say this is what is it. Don't forget, as of yesterday, the president gave approval, or over the weekend, president gave approval to NNPC to use their dividends to pay for the subsidy.
Oh, so we are still paying subsidy.
Somebody, I
And
told you,
here-
like,
here
somebody,
is
Of course, we're paying
NNPCL
subsidy.
denying paying fuel subsidies to marketers in the last 9 months. It said the government allows it to sell at a price below the landing cost. Below the landing cost.
So the question is,
That is suspect.
if you do business, you go to the market, you buy it 500 naira.
And you're selling 300
And you're
naira.
selling
Coming back to
300
sell you
naira.
200
So, are you making?
Are we
Does that make any business sense? So someone has to pay for that.
So-
And here you have people fighting for something like the Dangote refinery, the other, our own local refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, not to work. So
God-
for
God-
me,
God will intervene.
so me, I
God
don't
will
understand. Okay,
God will intervene.
I didn't add.
And-
I called so many people. I didn't add Dangote refinery, our own refinery. All of them are dirty.
Okay. which of your refineries now? The one in Port Harcourt?
We have in
Kaduna?
Port Harcourt.
Eh.
Port Harcourt is what they've been telling us that it will start in December.
No.
They will
In
start
August.
No,
it
it's-
was
it says
December,
August.
later July,
Yes.
now August. Today is
No, they have moved to October now. There's an agreement. I'm telling you now. There's an agreement between federal government and Dangote that by September they should start this. There's a new agreement.
it is well with Nigeria.
September, yeah.
It is well. We'll be taking a very short break on the program. When we come back, we'll be looking at something, I don't know what to call it now. It was a shock for me, and it was very embarrassing for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The seizure of our presidential jets in France, simply because there was a contractual agreement breakdown between a particular state in Nigeria, Ogun State to be precise, and of course a Chinese company. We'll be right back for that conversation.